When I do that, it's going to be much easier for Jason to start sliding his knees underneath the armpits. And we'll see why that's bad shortly. So as we go into our bridge, our frame comes down a little bit. Okay? So if we just borrow Jason. So from his position, my frame goes to here. So it stops his knees and the ability to slide his legs up, okay? If I'm always in this position, he's gonna slide up and increasingly get higher and higher. And then when we're in that position, that's when he's in what's called a high mount. High mounts are bad. Yeah, we've got real problems when we're in high mount. So I might be covering to start off with, okay? And then as I bridge, my elbows are blocking his knees' ability to slide up, okay? In MMA, we all have to accept we're going to get hit, and especially in these positions where we're losing. As the person underneath, yeah, don't punch up, you'll just make people angrier. Yeah, you're losing your goal, and the whole thing that you need to do is get out. Yeah, reduce their ability to make the position worse and get out. Okay, so at some point the elbows need to come in nice and tight. Yeah, when we start the initial the bridge to break posture. Okay, give it a go. 1, 2, 3. So we've now got into a position where we've broken posture. We've got the hands on the mat, which makes it a lot easier to do the next bit. Okay. I promise you, I'm going to show you something where you go, you son of a bitch, Ben, why didn't you show me that first? We'll do that in a second. Okay. So the main reason we need to get the hands on the mat. Not only does it give me a break from being punched in the face because his hands are being used to keep his posture, is I need to trap an arm, okay? There's a couple of variations with this. So we've got one where we wrap over and come into what's called an overhook into this position. This makes it a lot harder for him to get the arm out, but it's also lengthening my arm, it gets tied up pretty bad as well from his position. So you're more than welcome to have a practice of that because some people use this very well. Yeah, to the point where I don't try and coach anything different because they use it and it's so effective. They get to this position, break down, and they can bridge out. I argue that it's their bridge that's getting them out rather than the technique of the arm, but it works. I'm good with that. Okay. What we're going to go for is we're going to go over and we're going to use this part of our forearm, okay, into his elbow pit. Yes, it's an elbow pit. Okay. Grip, bring it in towards your belly. Okay. And then the next bit is I need to bridge again, okay? But I just want you to add this into the drill to start off with. All right, so Jason goes back onto my belly, I bridge, and then I'm going to trap and bring that elbow in nice and low. So I want that elbow towards my belly button. Okay, are you ready for the son of the bitch moment? Yeah. Okay. So we've learned this really powerful bridge and we've done all this. Yeah, another way of getting Jason's hands to the mat. Okay. The reason why I always show the bridge first is because it's the hardest. We spend a bit more time doing that because if we just did that, no one would bridge. Everyone would just knee up the back. But you need to have different options because it doesn't work with everyone. Okay. I'm pretty confident most people I can do this. But there's a few people that when I go to here, it doesn't work, so then I go back to my bridge to then trap the arm, okay? A lot of jiu-jitsu is having options. Jiu-jitsu can be tough, can be frustrating when we don't have options. It's like boxing with just a right hand, yeah? So we don't bother with the left, we just keep throwing this right hand and we expect to knock everyone out. It doesn't work like that. Jiu-jitsu is very much like that, so we have options. So, do a bridge, do a knee on the back. Okay, please keep doing a bridge, please. Okay, okay. So trap the arm, and then we'll look at how we skate next. And this gives us a lot of the fundamental movements that we use in so many different positions. So this is why we're spending a bit more time on this today. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, start with a bridge is up or I knee the back. Okay, the second bridge is different because we need to go on an angle. We need to go towards the side. So. From this position, we don't change what we're doing with our arms, our frame, okay? But our head's slightly different, okay? Sometimes as well, if I've trapped the arm on the right-hand side, I slightly tilt my hip, okay? So I'm putting a little bit more weight on my right butt cheek. So from this position, I'm now going to bridge towards the right, because that's the arm that I've trapped. To do the drill, we're going to point our finger, okay, so our left finger. So I'm going to look to the side and then look up. Alright, and then from this position here, I'm going to bridge over towards my right, because that's the arm that I've trapped. So if I just borrow a J, so broken posture, sort of bitch then, why didn't you bridge? Why have you done just the knee thing? Because I'm broken, okay? The palm as well is really important, so I like to do it this way. So the outside arm goes facing up, the inside arm goes facing down, thumbs stay together into this grip, which is called a gable grip. Okay, the elbow position, I need to suck it in towards my belly button. Okay, if I go to here, it's a little easier for Jason to get out. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a tidbit on the arm control. So here, little tilt onto the right butt cheek, look over, and then bridge. And then make sure you get good posture as soon as you bridge. Different angle. Sorry, with that. Okay. So here, bridge, trap, look over, look back, and then bridge over to the side. Into there. Okay? Let's just try the bridge without the person first, and then we'll jump on top and then start trying to bridge. So, at times you can kind of look for shortcuts and ways of working around it, but it's really worth just spending a little bit of time at home. This is actually how I get out of bed. So I practice the bridge at least once a day. Unfortunately, it's always on the same side of the bed, but there we go. The next bit's the dead easy bit, because we've done all the hard work. We've broken the posture, we've captured the arm, and we now know how to bridge. Okay, so we're just going to put it all together. Okay, so feet, bridge 1, bridge 2, and then posture. Okay, we don't want to hang down this position. We want to get into good habit straight away, so I'm going to look up towards the ceiling and posture. Alright, let's give it a go. Groundwork, there's usually a counter to the counter of the counter of the counter of the counter, and it does. It either frustrates you or intrigues you, I find. So, you know, it frustrates you because you learn something and then someone learns how to counter it, and then you go, damn, I've got to learn again. But then you learn another cool moves that leads into another 3 moves and another 10 moves, and that's the interesting bit. And you know, you kind of bear with it a little bit, but you start problem solving for every single position, and then you find out how it breaks down into even more positions. So don't get frustrated. If you get stuck with something or something's not working, just grab one of the coaches, because we've been doing this for so long, we've probably been there. Every now and again, someone comes up with a brand new problem, which is absolutely fantastic and frustrating for me as a coach, because I now go, oh damn, I don't know how to fix this, but chances are we see most of the stuff which you're going to experience. So, into my top position for Jason. So I'll break his posture. Lazy way this time. I go to here, but he has a slight bend in his elbows and he points his elbows out. So as I go to try and trap the arm and bring it in towards my belly button, he's now countered my ability to be able to capture the arm. Once I'm unable to capture the arm, I have to switch, because if I just start bridging to the side, this hand is in the position where it can stop me from bridging, because this is what's called a post arm. So he just pushes against it and pushes me back. And you see how I now start turning my back, giving my back away? Okay, so once I've trapped, gone for the trap, and it stops, I let go. This is not happening for me, so I reset back into my frame position. Okay, hopefully he doesn't posture up straight away. We're going to just bridge once, break posture, go to here, he's going to block it, and then I'm going to come back to my frame. Now from this position, okay, I'm going to pick a side. So one arm's going to go around the back to keep his posture down, and the other arm's going to go towards the knee. Okay. Before I start pushing the knee down though, I need to get onto my side. Because if you just watch my legs at the moment, if I just push the leg down, it's really hard to trap Jason's leg. Okay, so I'm going to get onto my side. So one leg is lower than the other. Okay, so this is the capture leg. I'm going to push the knee down into my half guard. So now I've got a guard back. Now I've got more limbs actively working to control Jason. It's not great control, but it's something. Okay, so this is the drill. Into a half guard. Okay. Go nice and steady. We'll spend a good amount of time doing that. When we're pushing, push on the kneecap. Don't push on the thigh. Okay, because we need to move this bit, so the bottom bit of the leg. If we're pushing on the top bit of the leg, and this is usually why people get stuck straight away, it's really hard to move that leg. Yeah, so we push from the point of contact. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Again, being on your side makes it so much easier because just how our bodies work. Okay. It's a lot easier for this leg to come over and capture the leg if I'm on my side. So as soon as I get to my side, I push on the knee and then I capture. Okay. So this still isn't a great position. So we need to do a little bit more work. Okay. Ideally, I want my butt to be pointed out here, but this is still a guard. Okay, this is a half guard. It's not a great one, but we're going to turn it into a great one in a second. So from this position here, I now need to switch my hands. So I'm going to switch and move my bum out. So this hand needs to go super high. We'll talk about this in a second, but this is now going to give me the opportunity to start playing a half guard game. Coming round to take the back. Start sliding into a guard to then start looking to reverse. Yeah, the legs are now in play, which gives us some effects when we're underneath. Okay, so the movement, yeah, push the knee down, capture the leg first of all. Okay, and then I need to scoop my bum and point my bum the opposite direction. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep my knees closed because I need to keep that over that leg, otherwise they end up in mount position again. I'm gonna use this hand. Yeah, to kind of help me move my bum out. So if you think of kind of that using the retraction and the push on the opposite side. So I retract and then push. So this is a nice little drill which I've just invented. Yeah, that's the movement that we're going to do. See how the knees are always squeezed? Okay, that's the control. Because if we think about what's happening in the context of what we're training for, if you don't break their posture, if you don't escape mount, you're getting punched in the face. A lot. Yeah. So we need to make sure that if we do capture that leg, we keep the leg. So if you think of Finding Nemo, I know everyone's probably seen it, that the seagull's mine. So there are little cues in my head when I roll, that's one of them. Yeah. I'm in guard line. That leg is mine, I'm not letting go, okay? Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Posture from mount, we then look to trap the arm. Okay? If we can trap the arm, we then bridge to get top position. Okay? We try and trap the arm, the person blocks. So we then switch to our knee push. Okay, once we get that knee in between our legs, we've created a half guard. We need to get our bottom over to the other side, have that hand up nice and high, so that we can then start looking to escape out of the back. Okay, so that's quite big. So we've learned a lot of different movements here. We've learned to bridge, we've learned to shrimp, which is something we'll do when we do our side control stuff. So yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time to get used to all these movements, but the bridge and shrimp are two foundational movements that we use for pretty much all bottom positions. So if we keep those in our mind, and that's our takeaway today, is the bridge and the moving our bottom out, which is the shrimp. That'll kind of set us good for the rest of the program and stuff. So the other thing that we talked about very early on is if I make a mistake. So Jay's on top. When I go to my bridge, I have my elbows far too high. Okay, so as I bridge, I now end up in a position where I'm in a high mount position. High mounts are awful because now when I bridge for a second time, nothing happens because his weight is no longer near my hip. Okay, so this then becomes a little bit more desperate. All right, so from high mount, we've got two options. We're not going to do the first one, but I'm just going to introduce this as something just to keep in your mind. Okay, and it's absolutely desperation. Okay, so we've taken a bad position, made it significantly worse. Okay, because now I can't really frame. Okay, my hands are in this position where I'm trying to be a defensive boxer without the ability to move. Okay, from a head position as well, it's really important we don't stick our head on the mat. Because if Jay hits me on the chin, that reverberates all the way through to the mat. My head doesn't move. Okay, and it may feel that that's a worse thing, but when your head's on the canvas and you're getting hit, it's really bad. So you need to still have your chin up, yeah, and look defensively. The elbows are going to help you get out of this position. Okay, so he's got his high mount, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving my hips and driving my elbows down. When we start jiu-jitsu, that feels like the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. But as you can see, Jay's okay about that. It still always hurts. So like you get like higher level jiu-jitsu guys like, oh, I don't know, it does. It does. You understand what the pain is. Okay, so when you're doing this to me, it's hurting me, but I understand what's happening, so I don't freak out. First couple of times, someone drives their elbow into your thigh, it does feel like someone's, stolen your coat, taken your car keys and driven, to Paris or something. It just feels awful. Okay, so he's going to go high mount because we're not going to enforce bad position. Go up a little bit higher. Boom, there we go. So now my arms are kind of flailing. Okay, sorry, I've done this a bit wrong. So the one that we're not going to practice is this. It can work, yeah, and it does work, but it can put me into even worse positions. Okay, we're going to stick with this one, all right, which is bridge and elbows, helping pushing my body up. Rather than pain, it's there to push my body up, and then we go back into whatever. Don't know what that was. We jump for a second. Okay, we go back into our escapes. Okay, so get high mount and then use that wiggle and the elbows to get you into a position where you're back into mid mount, and then we can start using the hips. Yeah, and then we've got a little bit of a drill. 1, 2, 3.